So when we think about being able to get sleep during difficult times, generally sleep is a thing that really does suffer. And it is a bit of a vicious circle because, as we've touched on, in order to kind of regulate our mood and make good decisions and things like that, we need a good night's sleep. And they're the kind of things that we sometimes and possibly need to do during difficult times. So that is something that is a bit of a vicious circle, and is something that is quite difficult to manage. So a lot of these things we've already talked about during the course already, but ensuring that you're getting a lot of light in the morning can be really helpful. Keeping hydrated, eating well, eating whole foods, not cutting anything out, kind of taking care of yourself and giving yourself a break. Maybe taking a 20-minute nap in the afternoon, not tracking your sleep. It's a really good idea during a difficult time not to track your sleep, because it is just going to add to kind of stress and things that you're thinking about. And moving, getting some exercise, getting out, going for a walk first thing in the morning is really helpful. If you're going through a difficult time, it gives you the downtime, it gives you the light and the movement that you need for your body to reset in order to be able to sleep well. And one thing to really think about when you're going through a difficult time, and actually generally on day to day when it comes to your sleep, if you haven't slept well, you really need to give yourself a break during the day. So if you are planning on going to the gym or doing a really difficult piece of work, and you haven't slept well, giving yourself a break and saying, actually, I'm not going to go and do that really tough gym session. I'm going to do some stretches at home instead. I'm not going to try and focus on this really difficult piece of work because I know it's just going to be frustrating. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do that later in the day when I've had a nap, or I'm going to do it tomorrow when I've slept better. So really, it's like taking care of yourself, listening into your body, into yourself, how you feel, and planning your day according to that. And, how well you've slept, how you feel 20 minutes after you get out of bed, how you feel at 11 o'clock in the morning, taking note of those things when you're going through a difficult time to give yourself a break and know what you may or may not want to or can do well as as the day is progressing is really important. It's also important to keep to the same sleep routine, so still get up at the same time in the morning and still go to bed at the same time at night, even if you're finding that difficult. It's a really good thing, will keep you regulated. I'm not saying don't have a lie-in, that's always really lovely, but kind of try and keep to your routine as much as possible. And when we talk about an evening routine, it might just be 3 things. It's all around those associations with good sleep. Putting your PJs on or your birthday suit, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair and getting into bed is enough for your body to go, it's bedtime. And they're the things you can do anywhere, wherever you're sleeping. They're the things that you will always do at that point. Something else to take consideration of if you are going through a difficult time and how to sleep well during that, is around, remember at the beginning when I said about how deep sleep is about our bodies repairing itself, and dreaming sleep is about dealing with emotion. You may find if you're going through a difficult time that you are taking a lot more REM dreaming sleep than any other sleep. And that's our brains working through whatever it is that the difficult time that we're going through. A way to maybe get less of that dreaming sleep, a bit more deep sleep, is to try and deal with what is going on during your waking hours, whether that's talking to somebody, journaling, getting therapy. It's really important to deal with those emotions and to do as much as you can during your waking hours, so your brain's not having to deal with those things at nighttime. The other thing is to, when you are dreaming, is to take note of your dreams. When you wake up in the morning, or whenever it is that you wake up, even in the night, and you've had a dream and you remember it, write it down. A notepad and pencil, excuse me, by your bed is quite a good idea. And I say pencil, so you don't need to turn the lights on and just scribble away. If you take note of your dreams, it can sometimes be an insight as to what it is that you might need to deal with during your waking hours. So in terms of sleeping during difficult times, is really about just looking after yourself, giving yourself a break, and doing all those things that are needed to really stay healthy: movement, eating well, and giving yourself a break, having rest and downtime, and trying to manage your level of stress. And then those general things for sleeping well anyway: getting light first thing in the morning, especially staying hydrated. There are a couple of other things that you can do that may help you sleep better. I'm not really one for using pillow sprays and that kind of thing, but they do really work for some people. So lavender pillow sprays, like aromatherapy sprays, can be helpful. And there's also something called tapping. I'm not talking about tapping that a lot of people think about, where you tap different parts of your body. I'm just talking about a rhythm. So this is something that a guy called Jim Donovan came across, who never slept at all. But he was a drum teacher, a drummer, and he started to teach drums. And he found that the parents of the students that he was teaching, they used to do a exercise at the beginning of the class. And the parents used to say they found it really relaxing. And so he started to look into it. And this is about your brain and how it can't help but follow a rhythm. So if you tap your leg or any part of your body while you're in bed, and it can take a few days to kind of get this down and for it to work, and to really tune into it. If you tap your leg and you really concentrate on that tapping, and it can be the same as a ticking clock, and then you slow it down over kind of 2 to 3 minutes, and you don't need to time this, just go with how it feels. And your brain really taps into that rhythm. You'll find that it can help you drift off to sleep because you're not thinking about anything else. You're just concentrating on that rhythm. So that's something that you can look up on YouTube. If you type in Jim Donovan tapping, there are TED Talks on that. So that's something else that you can look at when you need to get to sleep and you're going through a difficult time. The thing I would really, really recommend is talking about stuff during the day. Really dealing with those things during the day. That will really help. So hopefully this mini course has helped you get an insight into sleep, what is important, what isn't, what you can do to help yourself get a good night's sleep. And if you do have any questions, you want to make any changes, you want to tweak anything, but you're not sure where to start, if you want to ask anything at all, please do come and ask me. I'm definitely here for it. So I hope you felt that help. I hope you found that helpful. I obviously need to go and have a nap now because I'm tripping over my words. And yes, have a really good night's sleep.